Carney, and this is for Professor Center for my Speech 103-32 online course, and this is my self-image presentation. In this presentation, I have to discuss 3 things that interest me, and the 3 things that interest me are my books in the world of fantasy, my 2 Beetle cars, and my interest in the career of producing and directing. And you're probably wondering, that's a little weird for interests, but here it goes. First, my first car. This is my license plate for my first car. It says Luigi. My first car was a 1999 yellow Volkswagen Beetle, and it was funny because it's my first car, and usually people kind of get connected to your first car, and it had no radio. Actually, antenna was broken, so my version of a radio was plugging my iPod into the aux system, and I had that for about 2 years, and I got that right before my senior year in high school, and I made a lot of memories in that car. Unfortunately, of course, it was a 1999, so the years caught up to the car, and unfortunately it died, so we had to sell it. So then, about a month after, I received my mom's car, which is also a Volkswagen Beetle, but it was lime green, and it was a 2004, and it was named Sour Apple. I have these interests in this car because it has a funky shape, and it kind of has a different sort of perspective about it. It's not like regular cars, it's different, and it kind of fits my personality. The other interest I have is my interest in the books of fantasy. The 3 books that are most popular to me are Harry Potter, Vampire Diaries, and the Twilight series. The Harry Potter series were kind of what started it off because my mom used to read a couple of them to me when I was little, and then what started that off was because she just started dragging me to like the midnight series, the midnight premieres for the books and the movies, and which started off, then that led to the Twilight series, which those were the books I fell in love with. I didn't read much of the Harry Potter series, but the movies, I fell in love with the Harry Potter movies, whereas for Twilight I fell in love with the books. And I was the one that dragged my friends and family to read them, and they loved it a lot. So that interests me because it's a whole different kind of world, and I like reading something that is kind of different from what reality really is, and it kind of puts me into the story because you kind of escape the real world for a little while, and you can read something that's completely different to what you're used to. The last interest I have is producing and directing. For about 3 years into my high school career, at first I thought I was going to be an early childhood educator or a psychologist, but that ended up turning around when I joined my senior year. I took a media class, and I also joined an extracurricular activity called Studio 19. Studio 19 was a TV news station that was basically like a regular news station, but we did our morning announcements, and we did like little outros. Basically, they were like little videotapes that promoted like high school activities like football games or basketball games or like candy sales or bake sales, and that interested me a lot because I liked to produce and direct and get all creative and make videos, and I really liked producing and directing the news show, and that kind of turned into, we had this project called Project Firework, and what happened with that was it's kind of really popular throughout the nation, and you can find a lot of samples on YouTube, and on what it is Katy Perry's Firework. The whole school gets together, and they kind of unite with like all the extracurricular activities and all the sports teams, and we kind of prance and dance throughout the hallways with lining up. All the extracurricular activities and sports teams kind of line up against the building, and there are like a few people that lip sync to the song and the words, and we kind of dance through the school, and we kind of show school pride, and it kind of it's not like a anti-bullying campaign. It kind of shows that a lot of kids that are different and unique can unite, and that's what interested me into going into producing and directing. So as you can see, like, those are my 3 favorite things. And this is my CD from my project Firework that I made and produced and directed. This was the Book of Fantasy. I went to Harry Potter World, so this is my hat that I got from there. And obviously the 2 favorite books, my Vampire Diaries and Twilight. And so those are the 3 favorite things that interest me, and they kind of tell who I am, because I'm creative, funky, and out of this world, just like the fantasy books. And the cars are shaped differently, so that's why they're funky, and that's how they make me, that's why they interest me, and that also kind of makes me who I am. And that's the end of the presentation.